You've been wanting to get into backyard chickens and you went coop shopping first, which is very, very smart. And you found out a good coop actually is very expensive. There's no such thing as a cheap coop. And of course, the cheap coops that are just basically coop coffins that come in from China. Hopefully you've done your research. You realize right away they are garbage. Don't waste your money, and they just outright lie to you. Well, here we go. Here is our beta testing, our prototype of a coop that I've been designing and working on for literally the past 10 years. And I think we have finally nailed it. And the game changer was the material using Acre. So I hope that we have just invented, designed, and executed on the world's most affordable, economical, environmentally sound chicken coop without sacrificing the quality of the life for the chickens, keeping them safe, make sure there's tons of ventilation, giving them room. And I'm just gonna do a quick walk around, introducing you guys to this wonderful new chicken coop. So first things first, let's always start with the size. Size is everything when it comes to a chicken coop. So now the footprint on this design is 8 foot long by 4 foot wide, 4 foot tall. In the back, the hen house is roughly 3 foot deep, 4 foot wide, and probably roughly about 3 foot tall. It's gonna be higher on the back side. The roof is pitched. So I lied. This is the high side, and I have, in this case, the roof pitched down this way. It's a very low angle because, again, designing a coop that's going to be very, very small and also very affordable, but not jeopardize the safety and health of your chickens is very, very difficult. We do have an egg hutch on this coop, and that's one of the things that is always very, very difficult to design a small coop and still have an egg hutch big enough. So because of all that said, we have the egg hutch on one side, not both sides, because the other side is lower. There just isn't room for it. But right now I got some baby chicks in there, and so we have it closed off. The other thing I want to point out too, what we did with the prototype coop here is we used almost all the same hardware, but it's all actually high quality hardware. So I'm gonna have to incorporate in our mass production some new hardware like the barrel bolt there. That is unique to this chicken coop. But the gate latch right here and the carabiners are very, very common. A little bit smaller T-hinges, so we're gonna have to mass produce them to make this coop extremely affordable. So let's open this up. Check this out. Drop down doors still. All out of Acre. I just can't emphasize that part enough. 99% of this coop is Acre. The other 1% is one solid wood roost bar and the metal roof and the hardware cloth and obviously the metal hardware. But you guys get the idea. So we have 2 egg boxes, which is really, really nice. And I'm very, very happy that we're able to incorporate the drop down doors still, because that way, 2 things. Anyone can have access to the eggs, and also we don't want to lift up roof, freaking out those chickens, and also having a leak point so it's stationary, just like our egg hutches on our regular Carolina coops. Now, this is a smaller coop, so it is lower, all right? So, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. It is not easy designing a coop that is extremely affordable. There is a domino effect, but quite honestly, it's not horrible. It doesn't hurt us old folks to get down, kind of stretch and work those knees, get those wonderful eggs. So just like that. So love, love, love our egg hutch. Now, so speaking of the materials, before I go any further, yes, it is 99% Acre. That means it comes from an upcycled material. It will last forever. You have no maintenance with this material like you would real wood. Also, it's made from an upcycled material, which makes it very, very green. You know what I mean? Instead of being a recycled material, it's originally a product that would have just been thrown away, but they figured out how to use it. There's Murder. Sorry for this video having a distraction in there, but I am home and there's my one kitty. We call her Murder because she's vicious. All right, so 99% Acre. We have our same metal roof that we use on all of our chicken coops. We have the same hardware cloth that we use on all of our chicken coops. This is the black PVC coated hardware cloth. So I just can't tell you how much we absolutely love this. Now, the one thing we did add, finally, I found edging that I absolutely think is amazing because it just goes on so easily and it's staying on. That way we protect the metal edges. Now, metal can be sharp if you run 100 miles an hour into it, but it's not meant to be sharp. It would be similar like a butter knife. Can you cut yourself with a butter knife? Absolutely, if you intend it, but we want to play it as safe as possible, especially now that the metal is so low to the ground. Is this distracting for the video? Or does this make it really, really cool and fun? Huh, Murder? Yeah, this is why we call her Murder. She's vicious. She's showing off right now. You're very distracting to this wonderful video I'm trying to take right now, Murder. Okay, so moving on. Now, we do have an exposed edge here. I'm gonna try to leave that alone because I want to keep the price down. I think it's this edge here that we have to really worry about, but there are metal trim pieces that we can put over here called rake trim that will help with that should we need to. So still walking around the outside, same hardware cloth, same metal roofing, that wonderful, wonderful, it's all 3/4 acre. So I'm literally doing a trial run out my front lawn. I'm gonna start selling and beta testing this. The thing about this coop that is so nice is you don't ever have to paint it. And when it comes to assembly, you can actually assemble this coop in under an hour if you keep a good pace. I would say on average, give yourself 3 to 4 hours and one person can put this coop together. If you got 2 people, 2 hours, and I think you'll absolutely have the coop up and running. Oh, so I did put some baby chicks in there. So today is day 2 and they have not gone down yet. The thing about when you introduce your younger hens, in this case, they're about 6 weeks old, and I don't want to force them down. I put them in the back of the hen house. They have food and water in the hen house. That's the only time I ever recommend putting food and water in the hen house. But I'm going to let them learn to come down on their own. And by doing that, they're going to most likely learn it a lot quicker to go back up into the hen house. The last thing you want to have to do is go out to your coop every day and force your chickens up into the hen house. Sometimes you have to do that. And one of the reasons why you may end up having to do that is 2 things. One, your baby chicks were in the brooder way too long, so their instincts haven't kicked in yet. And also back into that brooder, make sure if you did not incorporate some type of roosting bar, perch bar to start triggering those instincts, it may take longer for them to learn to go up. So we do that right away in our brooders, and they literally within a couple hours, we're already hopping up on the new roost bar, and they're curious creatures. They're checking it out, and I'm just gonna let them come down on their own. All 3/4 acre. You never technically have to paint this, stain it, but you can. Acre paints and stains beautifully. There's absolutely no defects, and there's no need for pressure treated lumber. Now I do have to put a predator apron around the outside. I just haven't done it yet, and I actually got to figure out the best way to do that so I can share that with you guys so you can put on your own predator apron. The worst thing to do is screen the floor inside the run. That is a huge no-no. So we got a big run door, and this is going to be one of the downsides to having a more affordable chicken coop is because it's lower. It isn't one of those big, nice, tall walk-in runs like we have with all our other Carolina coops, but it's still doable. So we got a big door, big old gate latch. Check this out. So again, same hardware, same stainless steel cable so you don't get locked in. So we're just going to open that up and look at that. No, murder. Oh, get out of here. Sorry. She is vicious, I think. I don't know. I bet you the chickens would kick her ass. Who knows? So we got a big run door so we can walk in here. And again, I get this is not ideal. I can see some people already complaining like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have to bend over. Well, then build a bigger coop, build a taller coop, buy a taller coop. But if you're looking to save some money, also if you're thinking about just starting out, this is a great coop. If you're looking to not have to invest a ton of money up front, but you just want to dabble into getting chicken coops, I'll explain to you why this is such a good starter coop. So anyway, so we're going to walk in here, and I mean, it's just a little tiny chicken coop, and I would not recommend more than 4 hens in here. I definitely always recommend free ranging, but as they're small, you don't have to let them free range, but ideally maybe 3 standard hens and 1 bantam is perfect. We do plan on actually adding run extensions, the option for a run extension to make the run longer. Also, we were playing around with the idea of how to attach the water bar, and this worked out beautifully. We just used fender washers and our regular pipe straps, a couple little bolts, and that went in perfectly. A nice little ramp. And it's just gorgeous. Check out the underside. So because we're CNC machining all the acre, we can actually cut out the rib guards right there. And that does 2 things. One, it blocks out that access point of a potential pest getting in. It's highly unlikely, but we figured since we had the opportunity with the machine to do that, why not? But more importantly, what this does, that gives you an index point. And that's the thing that makes all of our coops so nice to put together is we have index points. And with this coop, that's an index point. We have rabbit joints in the corner. So literally it doesn't get any easier to assemble a chicken coop. You ready to come down? No. So for the record, that's a Turken/Cornish cross. I'm convinced of it. So it's pretty much like a meat bird, and they're just really lazy because they grow so fast. It's actually kind of really sad. Also, don't forget, yes, here's the lockout cable that will come with this kit. Oh, here's the other thing too. All the furring strips are screwed in. So if you ever have to actually disassemble this coop, there's not one nail. Everything is screwed, so you can actually unscrew everything and pack it up, send it to your next home. Maybe, you know, again, being a starter coop, you will fall in love with having chickens. And now you can actually learn the things that I talk about all the time, why it's so important to do this, do that, because chickens are easy. It's all about the right coop, but I absolutely get it. Next price point is the California coop, which is almost $5,000, shipping included. That's a huge price tag. Totally get it. So I wanted with this coop to figure out a way that you can have a much smaller investment to find out how nice it is to have fresh eggs, how nice it is to have chickens. But by having everything screwed together, what I'm seriously considering is the trade-in value, because I know this material is going to last forever, so it should absolutely hold its value. And when people use this as a starter coop, you're like, Matt, you were right, I absolutely love having chickens. Maybe you just unscrew it, pack it back up, send it back to us, and we'll ship you out a bigger coop. And you can use this towards the price of your second coop, your bigger coop, because you will learn one of the nice things about our regular coops is not having to bend over when you walk inside. But that is going to be the one big negative about the smaller coops here. But again, that's only because we're going to keep the price down. So I'm just going to shut the door just like that, put the carabiner on. We are good to go. Now, speaking of things that, there's only two negatives about this coop. That is that how short it is. The other one is that there's no deep litter system. And the reason why there's no deep litter system is there's just not room to incorporate the deep litter system if you're trying to keep a coop as affordable as this one is. Same hardware, same carabiners. Just gonna open that up. Smaller T-hinges. These ones, again, aren't the exact T-hinges we use. I might incorporate the bigger T-hinges, but that means we have to have really short screws. So still gotta figure that part out. But just like our Carolina coops, you can go to the back doors, open up that entire wall within seconds. Same thing here. So I was just talking about that there is no deep litter system. There's just not room to have the deep litter system. However, this is the next best thing, and that is we built it up. So there's a 4-inch of a basin, if you will, and it took about half a bag of hemp to get it started. And truth be told, at this point, because this is a brand new coop, I don't know how long it's gonna last. And again, a reminder, this is the only time I recommend having food and water inside the hen house. Once these ladies start to learn to go down on their own, then I will put the food and water down at the bottom. But in the meantime, I really can't wait to find out how long will the litter last, being that it's not deep litter. And I am predicting as long as you don't overstuff your diaper, right? Chicken to coop ratio. If you don't overload it, I think it's gonna last a lot longer than we think. But I also wanna point out, look at the cross ventilation. Okay, you can see tons of cross ventilation, and the chickens aren't, you know, really close to the roof. Is it as big as a Carolina? No, I get that. But to make a coop extremely affordable, things are gonna be smaller, but we still have tons of ventilation. Your chicken coop coffins coming in from China offer next to zero ventilation. The pull-out tray is a horrible idea. The quality of the materials of those coops are garbage. The coop's not gonna last more than a couple years. This will, again, last forever. Now, I know some people say, well, why don't you put a window over there? If we did that, price continues to go up. Number two, in order for that window to function, open and close it, you'll have to go inside the run. And I really didn't think it was gonna be necessary. So we're gonna close this door. Oh my gosh, probably the part that I love the absolute most. I'm gonna attempt to do this one-handed. I cannot emphasize enough. I don't care what the coop is, whether you're designing it, building it, buying it. Size is everything. Safety is also just as important, because if they're not safe, and you lose your chickens, what's the point? Now, when we talk about safety, yes, we're always talking about predator protection. We got that covered. Yes, I know I got to put my predator apron on yet, and I will end up doing that. But also the health of your chickens, all right? And they must have tons of ventilation. And especially that we're not going to be incorporating the deep litter system, ventilation does play a huge role into the ultimate nuisance of chicken droppings, and that is the smell. And that's only because it bothers us. It doesn't necessarily so much bother the chickens unless it's trapped in, because that smell technically is a gas that can be harmful to the respiratory system. So I love this. I am going to open up the windows one-handed, and I'm done, just like that. Now, right now, being that this is a prototype, I do have a hole in there. Say I don't want to open it up to 45 degrees. I want to go 22.5. Boom, just like that. I've had mixed feelings about this. I know a lot of comments out there from people that have been seeing behind the scenes say that's just not necessary. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I'm going to leave it just like that. Now let's open up the other window. One-handed. I'm going to open that up, and so easy, you can do it one-handed. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I love that. I love that. I've been stressing for so long over the function of the windows, because not only do they need to open up, they gotta be easy, because if they're not easy, you're not gonna do it. And if you don't do it, you'll kill your chickens. It's just that simple, especially with these smaller coops. What am I forgetting? Bottom line is, guys, I have said it for years. I've been building coops almost 20 years now. And I've always said, I want to offer you guys the best coop for the best price. A lot has changed in the past 20 years when it comes to inflation, materials, whether it's the cost or the technology. When Acre came out, we started testing it about 5 years ago, and I've been blown away. We started in the duck houses, then we incorporated into all of our chicken coops, because it's just a wonderful material, because it never has to rot. You technically don't have to paint it. The downside is, yes, it's very expensive. expensive. However, in this situation, because we don't have to do all the framing and it's just gonna be machined, the idea is we're gonna keep our labor down, pass that savings on to you, and we can do some things we can't do with framing that we can on the CNC machine. So what a awesome opportunity right there. We don't have an official name for it. I got some ideas that I like a lot, and I'm about to go into a marketing meeting. Hopefully I'm not late, but we're gonna talk about those ideas for that name. Complete opposite what I've always done, and I couldn't be happier. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget the YouTube Chicken Police. Where have you been? It's been a while. Check this video out next. Or is it here? Where's the video? Put the video right there. Check out this video. Learn some more about Carolina Coops later.